Hello students, today we are going to start with our next topic, that is probability. Now this topic you have already learned some of the concepts or the formula for finding the probability in your previous class. So let us first of all see what is an probability. So what do we call it as a probability? So probability means it is an value or it is a measure which tells you about the uncertainty of certain phenomena, isn't it? Or you can also say that it is probability tells you the chances of occurrence of a particular event, whether a particular event will occur or not. So that value, when you express in terms of a number, then we call it as a probability. Okay, so that is the basic definition, which we can say that probability tells you the chances of occurrence of any event or experiment. Okay, and it is represented on a scale from 0 to 1. Now what exactly is this, the scale 0 to 1? We will be looking it later on. So by the definition we can say that probability is the chance of occurrence of a certain event expressed on the scale of 0 to 1. Okay, so for probability there are different terms used as chances, then most probably or probable. So this type of certain words are used to define or instead of the word chances also. So now let us see what exactly it is about. Right. So before going to that, let us look at certain definitions of terms which are included in this topic. The first of all, the definition is of a trial. Now what is meant by a trial? Because you are going to hear this word trial, then event, just now as I have written in the definition, event, and then sample space and everything. So let us first see what are the meanings of that term. So trial is defined as a single performance. It is a single performance of any random experiment. Of any random experiment. So if you are performing any experiment and then that single performance is called as trial. Now what is mean by experiment then? Experiment is it is an operation which has certain outcomes or which has well defined outcomes. Well defined, it means you know what are the possible outcomes for that experiment. So well defined outcomes of an operation are termed to be as experiment. Okay, so now after experiment, next one is the sample space. Now what is in sample space? Now whenever you are performing any experiment, so as I have just now said, the well defined outcomes, so whatever are the outcomes, the all outcomes or the total number of outcomes of any experiment are called as sample space. So all the possible outcomes of an experiment are called as sample space. Whereas what is an event? Mentioned in the definition, chances of occurrence of any event or any particular event. Event is actually a subset of sample space. It means if I have to find the probability of any event, definitely all the outcomes of this event or all the terms of this event, they will be definitely the subset of sample space, because from that itself you are going to pick out the favorable outcomes. Okay, so now let us see what exactly are these terms. So as just now as I have told you, trial, it is a single performance of any random experiment which has well defined outcomes. Sample space, all the total number of outcomes, whereas event is a subset of sample space. Let us see with the help of one example. Suppose I am tossing a coin. Okay, so whenever a coin is tossed, what are the chances that there will be a head turning up or a tail turning up? Both will have an equal chance, isn't it? So for head, the chances are 50%. Similarly for tail also, the chances are 50%, isn't it? Right? So in terms of percentage, if I write, I will write 50%. What if I have to write in terms of fraction? It will be half. Okay, so now how do you calculate this? So for that, you have already learned the formula probability of any event. Okay, so now suppose I have to find what is the probability that after tossing a coin, the outcome is an head. So my event will be now, because I have to find the probability that the head will turn up. So that will be my specific event, because I am finding the probability of that event. So my event will be head turning up. Yes, so probability of any event E is equal to number of favorable outcomes. Now favorable outcomes means which are fulfilling the condition of that certain event. So here my event is, I want the head to be on the upper side. Yes, so that is my event. So what are the total number of outcomes, favorable as in which will be satisfying this event, divided by total number of outcomes. Yes, this total outcomes, we can also call it as sample space. Okay, so now in this case, since I'm tossing only one coin, so the possible outcomes are either head will turn up or tail will turn up. Okay, so there are two possible outcomes. So what are my total number of outcomes, or what are my sample space? My sample space is 2. Whereas what are the favorable outcomes of the event? Now what is my event? That I want just head on the upper side. So I will just consider this as my favorable outcome, because if there is a tail, that will not be considered as my favorable outcome. So how many such outcomes are there? You have to count the number. So there is only one head, so here it will be 1. Okay, and therefore the probability of the event of head turning up when you are tossing one coin is 1/2. So this is the formula which tells probability of any event is equal to number of favorable outcomes of that specific event divided by total number of outcomes. Now as you can see, event which is subset of sample space. Now why is it called subset? Because from the sample space itself you have counted the number of times the specific event has occurred. This head is actually a part of that sample space itself. Hence in the definition we are mentioning it that event is a subset of sample space. Okay, so this is what the definition of probability is. Now let us see what are the different approaches to probability. Now there are two approaches for probability. The first one is experimental approach, whereas the second one is the theoretical approach. Now first of all let us see what is the difference between them, and for your 9th class you are dealing with only the experimental approach. The theoretical approach is for your next standard, that is 10th class. Okay, so probability, there are two approaches. The first one is experimental, which is also called as empirical, and the second one is theoretical, or also called as classical. Okay, so I hope from the name itself you are understanding something. Yes, so experimental means whatever are the outcomes which you are getting, you are actually performing that experiment and then you are calculating its value. Meaning, the same example, if I am tossing a one coin, okay, so the same coin, if I am tossing it 2 times, right? So suppose when I tossed it first time, I am getting a head, and when I am tossing it second time, are there chances that I will get a head again? Yes, there are chances. In both the cases I can get head itself, or in the both the cases I can get tail itself, or I can get one head and one tail. For this example, let us suppose that I am getting both times a head. Yes, so experimental approach says whenever you are actually performing the operations and you are noting down the outcome. So when I am tossing it first time, I am getting ahead. When I am tossing it second time, still I am getting ahead. Whereas a theoretical approach says that you are actually finding the probability before performing the experiment itself based on certain assumptions. Yes, meaning just now in your previous example, we have said that the probability of head turning up was 50% and the probability of tail turning up was also 50%. Now, why did I say that 50-50? Because there are equal chances that both will occur equally, isn't it? So, by theory, I am telling you that both are having equal chances. But when I practically perform the experiment, there is a possibility that in both the cases I am getting ahead. So it happens that theoretically, which you can also call it as logically, all the outcomes are having equal chances and hence all the outcomes will have the equal probabilities. But in experimental approach, there are chances that the outcomes are not similar to the theoretical ones, isn't it? So for the same example here, now as we have seen, an experimental approach will tell you the value of probability when you are actually performing the experiments, whereas the theoretical approach tells you the values of the probability of a certain outcomes on the assumption that they are all having the equal chances of occurrence. So is there any relation between the value obtained of the probability through experimental approach whereas the value obtained through the theoretical approach? So the one example which we have seen just now, wherein I have tossed a coin 2 times and I have got a head in both the cases. So the probability of head in that case was 1. Whereas theoretically I know that the probability of head, whereas probability of tail is actually equal, that is 1 by 2 and 1 by 2, or you can also say it as 0.5 and 0.5. Okay, so let us see is there any relation between this. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to toss the coin for number of times and we are going to note down the number of times head is coming and the number of time tail is coming, and then we are going to see is there any relation. Okay, so I'm making a table wherein my first column is the number of tosses, how many times I'm tossing the coin, then how many times head is turning up, then probability of head, whereas how many times tail is turning up, and the probability of tail. So suppose I'm tossing the coin 10 times and I'm getting head 3 times, so 7 times I'm getting the tail. So now what will be the probability? Now just now we have seen the formula for probability, which is the number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. So for head, the favorable outcomes are 3 and the total number of outcomes are 10. So the probability will be 0.3, whereas here the probability will be 0.7. Now if I am increasing the number of times the coin is tossed, suppose now I am tossing the coin 20 times and I am getting the head as 7 times, whereas tail I am getting it as 13 times. Now again I will calculate the probability of head and tail, and the probability is 0.35 and 0.65. Okay, now again I am increasing the tossing. Suppose now I have tossed the coins 30 times and out of 30 times I am getting head as 12 times, whereas tail I am getting it as 80 times. Now again if I calculate the probability, that is 12 by 30, which will give me 0.4 and 0.6. Again if now I am tossing the coin 40 times and the number of time head is turning up is 18, whereas the tail turning up is 22 and the probabilities are 0.45 and here it is 0.55. Okay, so as you can see, as the number of times the coin tossed is increasing, the probability value, experimental probability value, is approaching the theoretical probability value. So 0.45 is more nearer to 0.5 rather than 0.40, 0.35 and 0.3. Similarly, 0.55 is more nearer to the zero point 0.05 rather than zero point 0.6 and 0.65. Okay, so this is what the relation is between the experimental and theoretical probability, which says that if you increase the number of times an experiment is performed, so if you increase the number of times the experiment being performed, the probability value approaches which probability value? The experimental probability value approaches the theoretical value. Okay, right? So this is the relation. As the number of times the experiment performed is repeated, so the value of the probability which you are obtaining from the experimental approach will be getting nearer and nearer to the theoretical approach. Okay, so now let us move forward and see. In the definition, we have said that probability is the chance of occurring of a particular event on the scale of 0 to 1. So now what is meant by 0 to 1? Yes, it means that the probability of any event can be either 0 or it can be either 1. It means the probability of any event will never exceed the value 1 and it will never fall below the value 0, which tells me the range in which the probability of any event falls, which is less than or equal to 1 and greater than or equal to 0. So when it is said that the probability of an event is 0, when the event is not occurring, meaning, see, our formula says probability of any event is equal to number of favorable outcomes divided by sample space, or the total number of outcomes. Okay, so if I am getting a value at 0, it means the numerator is 0 because sample space cannot be 0. If you are performing any experiment, definitely you will be having certain outcomes. So it means that the favorable outcome for certain event is 0, and which is divided by the sample space. Yes, now when do you get it as 0? When you know that this certain event has not occurred at all, isn't it? Meaning, suppose I am rolling a die and in that I am asking you what is the probability that the number turned up is 7. Now, as you know, in a die there are only 6 numbers from 1 to 6. 7 number will never ever come on the die. Yes. So what are the chances that the event will occur? There are no chances, or the chances are 0. Yes. So in that case, the probability of that event will be 0. So what does it mean? It means, when is the probability of any event 0? When it is an impossible event. It is not possible that the event will occur at all. Whereas when will be the probability of an event 1? Yes, when just opposite of it, when you are very much sure that the event will occur. For the same example, suppose I ask you what is the probability that for rolling a die, the number turned out is less than 7. Is less than 7. Now when I am saying less than 7, it means all the 6 values can be considered, isn't it? Now, even if 1 turned up, still I will consider that, even if 2, even if 3, 4, 5. So what does it mean? It means that that event where the number is less than 7 will definitely occur. Yes, and hence what is the probability? The probability is 1, because if you try to find out the probability of that event where the number is less than 7, I will consider all the outcomes. So how many outcomes are there? There are 6 outcomes. And what is the sample space? It is also 6. So you are getting the probability as 1. Yes, so when you are getting the probability of any event 1, when you are sure that the event will occur. So for a sure event, you are getting the probability as 1, and for an impossible event, you are getting the probability as 0.